Am I the a-hole for exposing my wife and her mistress at a party? I, 35 female, recently found out that my wife, 33 female, has been cheating on me for the last 2 to 3 months with another woman, 39F. For context, my wife and I have been married for at least 12 years, and she has been someone I treasure and love dearly. I couldn't imagine life without her at all until this happened. About 6 months ago, my wife and this woman met through a class. My wife was really excited to meet a new friend. She and this woman have similar interests, anime, books, video games, etc. My wife is doing her master's in education, and they happen to share a class together in which they have decided to become research partners for the duration of their studies. I was really proud of her, and I wanted the best for whatever she wanted to do. I started a new job at a company in my city a year ago. It took a lot of my time away from her, and sadly, we weren't spending as much time as we usually would. Slowly, I started to notice that she was coming home later and later at night, sometimes not at all. She would tell me that she would be helping the other person with homework or would be working on their research. I thought nothing of it first because I trust my wife, you know? She was never dishonest about where she would be. 2 months ago, I noticed that she was glued to her phone all the time. She would be smiling at her phone or laughing at something on her phone. My gut was telling me something was wrong. This all looked familiar. This was just like when she and I started dating. The texting, the late nights, she was going out and not coming home under the guise that she was doing research. Suffice it to say, my wife has changed quite a bit. She has gaslighted me, saying that it was my fault that our house was never clean because I never had the time to clean, or shifting the blame on me for minor things like cooking dinner or feeding our cats. She has even blamed my mental health diagnosis, saying that it was all in my head and that I was acting crazy. One day, her laptop broke down because it was a pretty old model, a MacBook Air from 2016. I had 2 laptops, one for personal use and one for work. I told her to take my personal one to school until we could get her a replacement. We got her laptop replaced 2 days later, which I paid for, by the way, so she gave me my laptop back. That night, I wanted to log on to my Facebook account because someone from back home had messaged me and needed a file from me, nothing too important. When I got on Facebook, my wife was logged on, and a chat was open. I know it was wrong to read her chat because it's basically an invasion of privacy, but her chat was blowing up from this woman. I clicked on it, and I was gut-wrenched at the messages I saw. They were flirting with each other. The woman was sending my wife provocative images and making plans. The other woman told my wife to get her priorities straight, and that she hopes that she's working on the goals they set for each other, and I'm pretty sure it's not about research. I know for a fact that they have had sex because of the way the other woman keeps texting her about her scent. To say the least, it cost me my mental, physical, and emotional health. I lost about 10 pounds from not sleeping and eating in about 2 weeks. I have friends that are constantly helping me with this whole ordeal, moving, with the paperwork, and just keeping me sane. I have lawyered up and gathered as much evidence as I can, making sure I get our house and our cats. My heart is so broken and gutted, but I'm so incredibly pissed, and I will not be one to be messed with. Last month, there was a party for their class. It's kind of a party to celebrate them and their research being approved. I was my wife's +1. I presented my own research there, their meetups, their texts, their plans, and served some hefty divorce papers with my gorgeous black revenge dress. So am I the a-hole for doing this? Also, my wife's mistress has been married to another person for at least 17 years.
I found a sex tape, and now he says he wants an open relationship for the rest of his life. I've been with my 31-year-old boyfriend for a year now. He's my first everything, the first guy I've ever liked, the first guy I've gone on a date with, the first guy I've had sex with, and the first guy I've loved. Long story short, he manages an agency, and a girl works out of his spare room sometimes. I've never met her, but I've always been suspicious of her. He claimed that it was just a girl crush and that there had been no intimacy between them, so it was irrelevant how she felt about him. She slept in his bed, on the mattress I picked out, while he claimed to sleep on the couch. I found a leaked tape of her giving him the head that she was selling. His response was telling me he didn't perceive it as cheating because it was for content, but that going forward he didn't see himself as monogamous, so if I wanted to be with him in any capacity, I'd have to be okay with him banging chicks for content or for himself. He said that love and sex had no correlation to him, that he didn't logically understand monogamy, and that he only wanted an open relationship for the rest of his life. I'm only 23. I know I'm young. He's far from a perfect man. I've looked over a lot of my standards for him. But I imagined a future with him. I loved him more than anything in this world. I can't be with someone who's incapable of being loyal to me, but I don't know how I'm supposed to get used to a life without him in it. I've been through a lot throughout my life, but nothing has ever hurt this badly. What do I do?